Everyone said Monica was done. She said, "I'm just getting started." The sun had barely begun to rise when Monica opened her eyes to the familiar sounds of tiny feet padding across the wooden floor. Her bones ached, not just from sleep, but from years of carrying burdens no one else could see. Beside her, her youngest, baby Naomi, stirred softly. At just 3 months old, she was the last of Monica's 5 children. Monica sat up slowly, her back sore from sleeping on the old couch. Her bedroom had long been handed over to the kids, who needed the space more than she did. These were the sacrifices she made quietly, without applause. As the kettle hissed on the stove and breakfast preparations began, Monica looked around the small living room where they all spent most of their days. Crayon marks on the walls, a broken toy beneath the couch, stacks of laundry, signs of life and struggle all blended together in the home she fought so hard to keep. Jeremiah, her oldest at 10, was helping tie his little brother's shoelaces. "Thanks, baby," she said, kissing his forehead. "You're such a good big brother." He shrugged like it wasn't a big deal, but Monica knew it was. He had been forced to grow up fast, too fast, just like she once had. Everyone said she had ruined her life when she got pregnant at 18. Then again at 20, and again, and again, and again. 5 times. 5 beautiful children. 5 reasons to keep going even when everything felt impossible. But she heard the whispers at church, at the grocery store, at the school gates. She's done. She'll never get her life back. That poor woman. Poor? Maybe financially. But Monica was rich in the one thing that mattered most. Love. Her kids clung to her like vines to a tree. And despite the daily exhaustion, she stood tall for them every single day. That morning, as she looked out the window at a sky beginning to glow pink with dawn, Monica whispered to herself something she'd never said aloud before. "I'm not done. I'm just getting started." Monica stood in her cramped kitchen, stirring a pot of rice and beans with one hand while bouncing baby Naomi on her hip. The scent of the food mixed with the scent of baby powder, laundry soap, and the faint mustiness of a space that was lived in too hard for too long. The children buzzed around her like bees. Malik and Zoe, the twins, were bickering over who got the last juice box. Elijah, ever the quiet one, was drawing something on a piece of scrap paper with a broken pencil. And Jeremiah, sweet, responsible Jeremiah, was trying to keep everyone calm. "Zoe, share with your brother," Monica called out gently, not turning away from the stove. "I had it first," Zoe shouted. Monica sighed and turned the burner off. Her head ached. It was only 6:45 p.m., but she felt like it should be midnight. She hadn't sat down once all day. Between feeding the baby, checking Jeremiah's homework, folding clothes, and helping Zoe with her cough, the hours had blurred together. Still, despite the noise and mess, something had changed in Monica recently. A quiet whisper had begun in her mind. It started as just a thought, something she brushed aside like lint on a sleeve. "You should go back to school." At first, she laughed at it. Back to school? At 42? With 5 kids and no savings? Who had time for that? But the whisper came back, louder this time. "You're not just a mother. You're still you." She had loved learning once. Loved books. Loved writing. Loved asking questions and getting answers. There was a time she dreamed of becoming a teacher, the kind who made kids feel seen. But life had pulled her in another direction, and she had followed without complaint. After all, children needed mothers more than dreams needed chasing. Still, at night when the house went quiet and she sat by the dim light of the hallway lamp, Monica would find herself scrolling through adult education programs on her old phone. One night, she came across a flyer. Community College Fall Semester Applications. Now open, flexible hours, childcare support available. She paused, stared at it, and saved the image. It wasn't a commitment, not yet. But it was a seed. And Monica knew the power of seeds. She had planted many in her life. Love, discipline, bedtime prayers, patience. Now it was time to plant something for herself. It was a Thursday afternoon, and the apartment was unusually quiet. Naomi was down for her nap. The twins were at pre-K. And Elijah and Jeremiah had gone to the library with the neighbor's daughter. Monica sat alone at the kitchen table, her laptop open in front of her. The flyer from the community college was still saved on her phone, but now she was staring at the actual application form. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard. Name, Monica James. She typed it in. Her heart thudded louder with each new field she filled. Age 42. Previous education. High school diploma. Intended area of study. Early childhood education. There, she had written it. Declared it. Spoken it into the digital void like a prayer. When she reached the part that asked for a personal statement, Monica paused. What would she say? That she was a tired single mom of 5? That her dreams had been sleeping for over 2 decades? That she wasn't even sure she could keep up? She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, then began to type. I'm applying to this program because I believe it's never too late to start over. I've spent the last 20 years raising 5 beautiful, brilliant children. Along the way, I've learned more about patience, empathy, communication, and problem solving than I ever did in school. Now I want to take all of that experience and become a certified early childhood educator, not just to support my family, but to help shape the next generation. I'm not here because I have all the answers. I'm here because I still believe in possibilities. She reread it 3 times. It didn't sound fancy. It didn't use big words. But it was honest. It was Monica. She clicked submit before she could change her mind. That night, when the kids were asleep, Monica lay in bed staring at the ceiling. Doubts crept in like shadows. What if I fail? What if I can't keep up? What if they laugh at me? But then she thought of something. Jeremiah had said earlier that week when he brought home a math test with a C on it. I'll do better next time, he'd said. You always say trying is braver than giving up. Monica smiled into the darkness. Now it was her turn to be brave. The sun hadn't even fully risen when Monica's alarm buzzed. It was 5:30 a.m. Her first college class started at 8, and the morning routine would be a marathon. She sat up in bed, rubbed her eyes, and took a breath that reached all the way into her bones. There was excitement, but also fear. She tiptoed around the room, gathering the day's armor, a neatly ironed blouse, secondhand, but still crisp, a pair of black jeans, and a simple ponytail to keep her curls in place. She wore minimal makeup and a soft, nude lipstick. It was the first time in a long time that she was dressing for something that was just for her. By 6:30 a.m., the house was a flurry of activity. Naomi clung to her leg while Monica spooned cereal into bowls. Elijah complained about his missing socks. The twins refused to wear the same sweater, and Jeremiah asked why she was wearing teacher clothes. I'm going back to school, she said, smiling through the chaos. Mama's going to be a student, too. You mean you're going to get homework, too? Elijah laughed. Exactly. So you better help me if I get stuck. When she dropped them off that morning, her children hugged her tighter than usual. Monica could see the pride shining in Jeremiah's eyes. He was the oldest and the only one who truly understood what it meant for her to be doing this. By 7:45 a.m., Monica was on campus. Standing in front of the classroom, she felt small. Everyone seemed so young. Laptops open, earbuds in, backpacks stylishly slung over chairs. The girl beside her had pink hair. The guy at the back was already sipping his second coffee. Monica sat down slowly, unsure if she belonged here. But then the professor walked in, and the chatter faded. The syllabus was handed out, and things started to feel real. Welcome to Intro to Early Childhood Education, the professor said. This course is not just about theory, it's about impact. Who you are, how you show up, and why you choose to do this work matters. Monica's heart stirred. Why you choose to do this work matters. She scribbled it down. That one line felt like it had been written just for her. After class, a few students grouped up, chatting about assignments and weekend plans. Monica started to leave quietly when someone tapped her shoulder. Hey, I'm Zoe, the girl with the pink hair said. I liked what you said during the discussion. You have kids? Monica smiled. 5. Zoe blinked. 5? And you're here? Girl, you're amazing. Monica laughed, a real laugh from deep in her chest. She hadn't felt this seen in a long time. That night, as she tucked the kids into bed, Monica recounted her day. She told them about the teacher, the syllabus, the class discussion. The twins giggled and called her Professor Mama. Elijah said he wanted to come to her class one day. Jeremiah gave her a high five. For the first time in years, Monica didn't feel like life was passing her by. She was in it, learning, growing, becoming. The first month of college passed like a whirlwind. Monica found herself juggling motherhood, assignments, and exhaustion. Her planner became her best friend. Every hour was accounted for: school drop-offs, lectures, study groups, laundry, nap times, and late-night readings. But it wasn't easy. One Tuesday morning, just as she was about to leave for a mid-term exam, Naomi came down with a fever. Monica's chest tightened. The thermometer read 102. She sat on the edge of the bed, brushing her daughter's damp forehead, her exam notes still in her lap. What do I do? She thought. Do I miss the test? Do I bring her with me? She called her professor and explained. Her voice trembled, but she kept it together. I understand, the professor said. Family comes first. You can make up the test on Friday. Take care of your baby. Monica hung up and exhaled slowly. She didn't know what felt more shocking, her professor's kindness or the way she had found the courage to ask. There were nights Monica wanted to give up. The textbooks were dense, and the theories sometimes felt far removed from real life. On one particularly hard evening, she sat at the kitchen table staring at her laptop. The assignment was due by midnight, and her brain felt fried. Jeremiah came in quietly and placed a glass of water beside her. You okay, Mama? She nodded weakly. Just tired, baby. He looked at her screen. You're writing about child development? She smiled faintly. Trying to. He grinned. I think you know a lot about that already. Monica laughed, tired, teary-eyed, but moved. That was the boost she needed. She turned back to the screen and started typing again. Small victories started to stack up. Her first A on a paper. Her classmates coming to her for help with case studies. Zoe, her classmate with pink hair, inviting her to join a study group. You always ask the deep questions, she said. We could use your perspective. And one day after class, the professor pulled her aside. Monica, have you considered applying for the peer mentor program? You'd be amazing. Monica blinked. Me? Yes, your insights are grounded. You speak from lived experience. And you listen well. It took her a week to apply. And when she did, she was accepted. She, Monica, mother of 5, ex-waitress, worn thin but never broken, was now helping others succeed, too. One Friday, as the sun dipped and dinner bubbled on the stove, Monica found her kids playing classroom in the living room. Jeremiah was pretending to be the teacher. Okay, class, he said, holding up a cereal box like it was a textbook. Today, we're learning about feelings. Naomi raised her hand. Happy. Good job, he said. And who knows what Mama feels when she gets an A? Elijah shouted, proud. They all burst into giggles. Monica stood at the doorway watching them. Her heart was full. This was why she kept going. The auditorium buzzed with excitement. Camera flashes sparked like tiny fireworks. Families filled the seats, cheering, clapping, calling out names with joy. It smelled faintly of flowers, fabric starch, and anticipation. Monica stood backstage, adjusting her cap with trembling fingers. Her black gown flowed past her ankles, her cords resting neatly over her shoulders, symbols of honor, hard work, and relentless faith. She caught a glimpse of herself in a mirror tucked behind the curtain. Was this really her? She remembered the sleepless nights, the tearful breakdowns, the school runs, the panicked dashes to class, the heavy grocery bags, the light bill notices, the barely there meals, and the unwavering "we'll be okay." She whispered into her children's ears and into her own heart. She smiled. Yes, it was really her. The announcer's voice rang out through the hall. Graduating with a degree in early childhood education. Monica Hill. A wave of emotion surged through her as she stepped onto the stage. The crowd erupted, not politely, not quietly. Loud, joyful, unfiltered applause. In the third row, her children stood on their chairs, cheering the loudest. Jeremiah had made a cardboard sign that read, "Go Mom." Naomi held a bouquet of daisies, her gap-toothed grin lighting up the row. Elijah was clapping so hard his cheeks shook. Monica reached for the diploma. The moment it touched her hands, her eyes welled. Not just with pride, but with proof. Proof that second chances were real. Proof that tired women who hold babies in one arm and dreams in the other can finish what they started. Proof that even when the world says, "It's too late," the heart can whisper, "Watch me." Back outside, under the warm sun, her children rushed her like a wave. "Mama, you did it. You're a real graduate. Can we get ice cream now?" Monica laughed, hugging them all at once. "You were my reason," she whispered into their hair. Every single day. That night, they had spaghetti and juice boxes. Not a fancy meal, but a feast in their eyes. Monica wore her cap the entire dinner because the kids begged her to. Later, after the dishes were cleared and the house had quieted, she stood on the balcony. The stars were out. The world was wide. She wasn't sure what came next. Maybe teaching, maybe writing a book, maybe starting a program for other mothers like her. But she wasn't afraid. She had faced the storm. She had stood in the rain. And now, Monica Hill was standing tall, diploma in hand, heart on fire, ready for whatever tomorrow would bring. She wasn't just a graduate. She was a force. She was just getting started.